Welcome back to the channel. Today is going to be the last drags of the season at my local drag strip. And I haven't raced anything this year, and the red Magnum is pretty much ready to go besides a few interior bits and a hood. But I need to make sure the transmission is properly filled. I've been driving her around. I did fill it before, but you always want to go back and check it. Just because the 8-speed automatic transmissions, they have a weird bleed procedure, as well as they have the thermostat in the transmission lines. So you want to make sure that you do a full cycle and get the transmission up to temperature, drive it on the highway, and then you go back and make sure that it's full. So I've been driving it for about a week, haven't had any issues. Tranny pressures have been perfectly fine. Tranny temps have been fine. To do before you take a car to the drag strip is to make sure there's nothing loose, especially something that you pretty much just put together. So I did find one loose bolt and I had some rattling, so I knew it was coming from this side, but the strut bolt right here or the nut wasn't torqued down, so I torqued that down, and I probably shouldn't have any more of that. It was just like anytime it went under compression, it just had this like, so that'll be good. This is exactly why you look around. I can't believe this didn't pop off. Low temp supercharger cooling system. I didn't put the clamp back on the cooler, so didn't pop off, but we'll put that on and we won't have to worry about that. And then to do the bleed procedure on the transmissions, I verified it still is full. So the thing with these transmissions is, and I don't know why ZF does it, but what they do is they have it so when you have it in the bleed procedure, it's to the correct level at the fill plug. But if I pulled the fill plug right now when it's cold, a bunch of fluid is going to come out because it's way above the fill plug level when it's cool and off and everything has settled. So I don't know why ZF didn't just put the fill plug higher up on the transmission, so then you just filled it to the correct level when it was cold and didn't have to do this stupid procedure. But I already cracked the fill plug loose. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to start the car and then I'm going to do the procedure. The first step of the transmission bleed procedure, you want the vehicle 8 inches off the ground, because the rear wheels are going to actually have to move and spin. So you don't want it to hit the ground and then drive off the lift or do something weird. So 8 inches, it could be more, could be less. You're gonna have to lift it all the way up to fill the transmission. But now let's go into the car and then do the rest. Steps of the transmission bleed procedure: you apply the brake, you put it in reverse, hold it for 5 seconds, then you go into drive, hold it for 5 seconds, you release the brake, then accelerate to second gear, hold that for 5 seconds, then you put the car in neutral, and then you rev it to 2000 RPM for 5 seconds, and then you leave it in neutral, and then you raise the car, and then you fill the transmission. You have to do all this from 86 degrees to 120 degrees Fahrenheit. So make sure that you're not doing it when it's super hot. And usually when you first start the car, it's at least around 86 during the summer. So I would just 86 to 122, make sure you follow these instructions, because if you don't, then you're not going to properly bleed the transmission. I want to say this before the car is on, it's loud and you guys can't really hear what I'm saying. So let's do this really quick. And we should probably have to add, I'd say maybe a quart. Four, five. This is the sketchy part. You have to do all this while it's running. Also, when you're lowering the lift down, you can see the rear wheels are still spinning. That's because the transmission is neutral, but that also means it still has power to the wheels in some sort. So don't lower the lift all the way down until you apply the brake, put it in park, because you could have it fall off the lift just because the tires grab the ground, depending on how sticky they are. Make sure your tires are all the way completely stopped and the transmission has equalized before you put it in park, because it could slam into gear still. Now we're going to turn the car off, and she has a full transmission, and even though it was full before, it was a quart low, almost a quart low. So that means that if I took this to a drag strip and went down a bunch of different passes, it could have actually sucked all the transmission fluid out of the pan and then ran dry and blew up the transmission. So luckily enough, I'm kind of OCD about stuff like this. What I want to do is take the car for a test drive and actually go through the gears, because I haven't really done that yet, because I knew I wanted to fill the transmission before I did that, and I wanted to burn some of the old gas, which kind of made sense on both parts. All right, let's go take her for a little test drive. I'll probably do some moderate, well, probably not super hard pulls, but oh yeah, the popping's gone on the strut, which is nice. Of course there's going to be a right there. Of course there's going to be a cop. Uh-oh. That didn't sound good. Is that traction control, I think, is what's going on there. Ah, that's not what I want. Track. I was slipping, but it was a stupid traction control. And I think it's going to do stock Hellcat speeds. I mean, I don't know. It feels a lot better than the Challengers and the Chargers. That 300 is fast. The first run I got a 12.4, something like that, but this 300 right here, it was like a 9 something. This thing's super fast. This thing has slicks though, and mine's all stock Hellcat, 650 horsepower, whatever it makes, but did pretty good. I'm gonna have to say that. Late night street racing going on. Everybody's bringing their trucks and their trailers though with their cars on them. That's a pretty quiet track hawk. I'm in the Ranger, so I'm in the most inconspicuous car that's here. Oh.
There goes the weights.
Yeah, that's exactly why you don't run that bullshit.
Damn. Sounded like some bullshit. The Magnum actually did really good at the drag strip. The fastest time I got was a 12.1, which isn't super fast, but for the first time out with the car, it is pretty good. And those rear tires, they're Nennos, they're old, they came off a car that caught on fire, so they're not the softest tires in the world. So I need to get probably some slicks. I also have an E85 kit. I have some 1050X injectors. I also have a smaller pulley. I did say in the beginning that I was going to keep this car stock, but we'll put it on E85, put a smaller pulley on it, probably make around 750, 800 horse on it, and then hopefully take it to the drags one more time. The last drags was supposed to be this event, but they said they're going to have 2 more, so hopefully I could take this car one more time. And then if I can get the whole fan situation figured out on the blue Hellcat Magnum, I'll be able to take that to the drags before the end of the season. And that is my hope, because I can't take it without the fans working. But the red car is doing great, so I'm excited about that. It's fun to drive around. Me and my friend Chris didn't stick around to see the final run of the street drags, but that noise you heard on the last run, we all thought it was the weights falling off the truck. I'm not 100% sure because we didn't stick around, but what I think happened is the drive shaft broke, because when we're heading back into where all the trailers and trucks were, where everybody was staging up, an ambulance was coming. So not 100% sure if the drive shaft broke and hurt the driver or what happened, but we left. It was already getting pretty late anyway. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, and so was the drags. So I'm gonna end the video here. If you like these videos, make sure to click the subscribe button, throw a thumbs up, throw a comment below. As always, see you guys next time.